What's up guys, I'm ArieRashelle and this is the End Times. In this video, I want to answer a few questions about the Man of Lawlessness. Now, if you didn't catch our video, The Antichrist, I would suggest watching that video first, as it's the foundation to this one. And for those who already watched that video, here's a quick refresher on what it was about. Now, we explained that the Antichrist was a spirit instead of the man who is to come at the end times. And the spirit of Antichrist is the spirit that comes when Jesus is born, as it opposes Jesus and who he is. So anyone who denies that Jesus is Lord has the spirit of Antichrist. With that said, let's move on to who the Man of Lawlessness is, when he shows up and what his role is in the end times. First, let's quickly define who he is. I believe Paul gives us a good foundation to who the Man of Lawlessness is. In 2 Thessalonians 2 verse 3, Paul writes, "Let no one deceive you in any way, for that day will not come unless the rebellion comes first and the man of lawlessness is revealed, the son of destruction." So according to Paul, the man of lawlessness is the son of destruction, or perdition, as other translations say. Daniel also tells us who he is. Daniel chapter 9, verse 26 through 27. "And after the 62 weeks, an anointed one shall be cut off, and he shall have nothing. And the people of the prince who is to come shall destroy the city and the sanctuary. Its end shall come with a flood, and to the end there shall be war. Desolations are decreed, and he shall make a strong covenant with many for 1 week, and for half of the week he shall put an end to sacrifice and offering. And on the wing of abominations shall come one who makes desolate, until the decreed end is poured out on the desolator." So let's unpack these verses really quick. The anointed one who is to be cut off is Jesus. Then the people of the prince who is to come shall destroy the city and the sanctuary. The people who destroyed the temple were the Romans in 70 AD. Now, the prince who is to come is not the man of lawlessness. He is the beast out of the sea, spoken of in the book of Revelation. And we'll get into why that's the beast a little later on in the video. But the man of lawlessness in these verses, I believe, is the one who makes desolate in verse 27. Now, the man of lawlessness and the beast out of the sea are two different beings. And how can we be sure? Let's look at Daniel 11 verse 21. "In his place shall arise a contemptible person, to whom royal majesty has not been given. He shall come in without warning and obtain the kingdom by flatteries." This is the beast of Revelation. Now pay close attention to what he does a few verses later. Daniel 11 38 through 39. "He shall honor the God of fortresses instead of these. A God whom his fathers did not know, he shall honor with gold and silver, with precious stones and costly gifts. He shall deal with the strongest fortresses with the help of a foreign god. To those who acknowledge him, he shall load with honor. He shall make them rulers over many, and shall divide the land for a price." So the beast of Revelation divides the land for a price and sets up rulers over many. So could this be the strong covenant he makes with many for a week that we just read about in Daniel chapter 9 verse 27? Alright, let's keep going, but keep in mind those rulers that the beast of Revelation sets in power. Daniel chapter 7 verse 7 through 8 says, "After this I saw in the night visions, and behold a fourth beast, terrifying and dreadful and exceedingly strong. It had great iron teeth. It devoured and broke in pieces and stamped what was left with its feet. It was different from all the beasts that were before it, and it had 10 horns. I considered the horns, and behold, there came up among them another horn, a little one, before which 3 of the first horns were plucked up by the roots. And behold, in this horn were like the eyes of a man, and a mouth speaking great things." Now let's look at the interpretation that Daniel receives a few verses down in verses 23 through 25. "Thus he said, As for the fourth beast, there shall be a fourth kingdom on earth, which shall be different from all the kingdoms, and it shall devour the whole earth, and trample it down, and break it to pieces. As for the 10 horns, out of this kingdom 10 kings shall arise, and another shall arise after them, and he shall be different from the former ones, and shall put down 3 kings. He shall speak words against the Most High, and shall wear out the saints of the Most High, and shall think to change the times and the law, and they shall be given into his hand for a time, times, and half a time. So the man of lawlessness comes to power by taking down 3 of the kings that the beast of Revelation gave power to. So the 2 cannot be the same, and the man of lawlessness must be the last one to come. Revelation chapter 17, verse 9 through 10 says, "This calls for a mind with wisdom. The 7 heads are 7 mountains on which the woman is seated. They are also 7 kings, 5 of whom have fallen. One is, the other has not yet come. And when he does come, he must remain only a little while." So Revelation confirms that the man of lawlessness is the last to come and can only remain a little while. Now, as far as the rest of the 7 kings in this verse, we will get into them in another video. But the man of lawlessness staying a little while corresponds with Jesus in Matthew 24 when he is speaking of the abomination of desolation, which we'll talk about in another video, and the great tribulation, which we'll also get into in another video. But just to touch on those 2 things, the abomination of desolation must be set up in the temple of God before the man of lawlessness gains power, according to Daniel chapter 11, verse 31. And according to both Daniel 11, 27 through 34, and Matthew 24, 15 through 21, both of these things must happen before the man of lawlessness gains power. So the abomination of desolation must be set up, and then the great tribulation must begin. Now, when he comes to power, he will not last long, for those days will be cut short, according to Matthew 24 through 22 and Daniel 7, 24 through 26. Now, let's just look at Daniel 7, 24 through 26 real quick. "As for the 10 horns, out of his kingdom 10 kings shall arise, and another shall arise after them. He shall be different from the former ones, and shall put down 3 kings. He shall speak words against the Most High, and shall wear out the saints of the Most High, and shall think to change the times and the law, and they shall be given into his hand for a time, times, and half a time. But the court shall sit in judgment, and his dominion shall be taken away, to be consumed and destroyed to the end." So the man of lawlessness will play a role in the great tribulation, but those days will be cut short because the court will sit in judgment and his dominion will be taken away, as verse 26 says, and Jesus confirms in Matthew 24, verse 22. So when he receives power, he not only wears out the saints of God, but he also declares himself to be God. 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 4 says, "Who opposes and exalts himself against every so-called God or object of worship, so that he takes his seat in the temple of God, proclaiming himself to be God." So just to sum everything up, the man of lawlessness is not the same as the beast of Revelation. The man of lawlessness will be the last to come, and he will be part of the great tribulation and the wearing out of the saints. He will also call himself God, but his dominion will be cut short. So I hope this helped paint a clearer picture of the man of lawlessness and what his role is in the end times. But let us know what you guys think. Do you think that we're completely off with who the man of lawlessness is, or are we making a little sense? If you enjoyed this video, please feel free to like, comment, share, and subscribe to our channel. Until next time, God bless.